All right, everybody. Hello. We're going to talk about some artificial sweeteners today. I have got the computer open so that I can kind of read to you guys. I have found the information I need, and it'll just keep me more on track. As we all know, I'm perfectly capable of going off track without help. Um, so we're going to learn a little bit about it, or excuse me, about them. We're going to talk about the ones that are approved by the FDA, the Food and Drug Administration, and then we're going to look at the ones that we should avoid the most. So artificial sweeteners were invented at some point. I haven't looked up when. Maybe I should. Um, by the end of this, you'll figure out why I haven't bothered. Artificial sweeteners were, you know, made in a lab to be a replacement for sugar. Sugar, which has calories and which can raise your blood sugar levels, your glucose levels, um, and to help with keeping blood glucose levels down in people with diabetes, which of course we want that. We don't want their blood sugar levels to go too high or too low, obviously. Um, so that all sounds really great. So let's see, what do we got? Currently, the FDA has approved 5 artificial sweeteners for consumption. Say this wrong every time. Acesulfame K or ACE K, aspartame, neotame, saccharin, and sucralose. All right. So other names for these, if you're looking at stuff, saccharin is sweet and low or sugar twin. Notate here, avoid this sweetener if you're pregnant or breastfeeding, apparently. Aspartame is NutraSweet or equal. The acesulfame potassium or ACE K is Sweet One, Swiss Sweet, or Sunnit. Sucralose is Splenda. And neotame is also called Nutame. And it looks like there's actually another sweetener out there. It's not on the quote unquote FDA list, but it might be okay. I don't know. Advantame, which is used in a variety of things. Now, sugars are naturally occurring carbohydrates. Okay, so they are carbohydrates that just they occur naturally in food. They're in fruits. They are in because that's that's a sugar. They're in like sweet potatoes, things like that. These include brown sugar, cane sugar, confectioner sugar, fructose, which is fruit sugar, honey and molasses, and I would also throw agave and syrup in there as well. They have calories and raise your blood glucose levels, which is the level of sugar in your blood. Okay, cool, fine. Reduced calorie sweeteners are sugar alcohols. You might know them by names like isomalt, maltitol, or maltitol probably, mannitol, sorbitol, and xylitol, and there's actually several more out there. Most of them end in tol. You'll find them in sugar-free candy and gum. They got about half the calories of sugar and can raise your blood sugar levels, although not as much as other straight sugar carbohydrates. Artificial sweeteners are considered free foods, is how this is worded. They have no calories and do not raise your blood sugar levels. They were designed in a lab. Quote, they were designed in a lab. All right, so kind of understanding them, knowing the other words for them, getting a little impression about what sugar is, what sugar alcohol is, and artificial sweeteners. Now, bearing in mind some quick notations here. Sugar alcohols can cause intestinal discomfort for some people. So if you pick up anything with that tall on it, be aware of that. Kind of pay attention to that. Make sure it's not giving you some kind of stomach issue. Artificial sweeteners, if you're not used to having them, can cause the same thing. If you are used to having them and you decide to dive into the elimination diet, which I highly encourage, and you try to add them back into your diet, you may find your body doesn't like them. Now, going back to our FDA approved, the ACE K/ACE potassium, aspartame, neotame, saccharin, and sucralose. Okay, right? We go down a little bit more here. What artificial sweeteners should you avoid? The worst of the worst culprits include aspartame, sucralose, and saccharin. Now, this doesn't mean that those other two are safe, but just consider the information that we have here. The FDA has approved these items, but they're also considered the worst of the worst in terms of artificial sweeteners. Many people who cut out artificial sweeteners, excuse me, I got this. Many people who cut artificial sweeteners out of their diets report the improvement of many health problems, including migraines, depression, IBS, weight gain, and more. Okay. So, the thing with these artificial sweeteners are meant to, not raise your blood sugar levels. They're also created in a lab, and they are also far more powerful than sugar alone in terms of like flavor. And they all have a different flavor profile to them, it seems. And it's kind of initially initially it seems like, oh well, this is good. This will help maintain blood sugar levels, and this will help diabetics and stuff. So instead of encouraging healthier diet, a more balanced diet, where we only maybe have 1 cup of ice cream, or we have a lot of fiber in our diet to help slow down the digestion of sugars, things like that. Instead, we have created a chemical that we can put into things to make them taste sweet without the sugar. Artificial sweeteners can, as this said, it can damage your digestive system. It can cause migraines. It can cause depression. It can cause weight gain. And a lot of that has to do with how, like, it fucks with your system. Because the issue you get into is artificial sweeteners don't make you crave sugary things less. They actually make you crave it more, because it hits your taste buds and the parts of your brain that associate with sugar, and it actually drives up those cravings. So you'll want either actual sugar things, which you might indulge in, or things that aren't directly sugar, like you think, oh, okay, well, tortilla chips don't have sugar in them. No, but those are fast digesting carbohydrates that you don't need. And a diabetic doesn't need. This video isn't just for diabetics. This is for everybody. So it actually drives that up. So you either end up taking in super fast digesting carbohydrate foods, or you have more and more artificial sweeteners, which mess up your system more and more. Okay, cool, Beth. Got it. Whatever. What we run into here is that these sweeteners are in a lot of shit. And we don't know it because, we see these words and, maybe we can pronounce them because you know what I say. If you can't pronounce it, you probably shouldn't be eating it. They're like, oh, I can pronounce that or whatever. If we're even looking at all. So they're in a lot of things. And they're usually at the end of the ingredients list, because how ingredients lists work is it's the highest percentage thing is listed first. Like, I don't know, tortilla chips. You've got ground corn, oil, and sea salt or whatever, But there's, it's the lowest on the list. And sucralose, which is Splenda, is in almost every protein powder out there. It's also found in other protein things, cookies, bars, things like that. And it's very low on the list because there's not a lot in there, which is great. When you eat one of those and you notice how sweet it is and there's no other sweetening items in there, isn't that kind of scary? That really kind of points to, okay, well, if there's barely any in this, why is this so sweet? I don't have a fit about the protein powders and stuff like that, for the most part, because I know we live in a different, I know we live in a fast-paced world and you need to get your protein in. And if you're only having one artificial thing per day and, it's one of the better versions you can find and it's affordable, I'm not going to give you a rash of shit about it. I just want you to be aware. Um, the the thing we get into is that these are found in a lot of the, not real foods that we eat. So that's why I encourage you guys to either just go completely just regular food, make it yourself, avoid packaging, avoid things that are in packages, and especially read labels. And if you're going to do a non-food item like a protein bar or a protein cookie or a shake or whatever once a day, because I want you to get your nutrients in, but not at the cost of you taking this stuff into your system. Okay. And is this stuff like gonna kill you? Probably not. However, why would you want to add stuff in? We've already got so many other things coming in from the environment. Um, aspartame, what was aspartame, sucralose, Splenda, and saccharin. I've had more experience and information on aspartame and Splenda slash sucralose, but I'm assuming that saccharin is in there as well. Um, big causes of cancer. And it may not be the item itself, but what it does to your system. So, those are some things to consider. If you want to, I encourage you to do some searching. And honestly, what you're going to find, like most times, is, different information. And you kind of have to weigh it out and be like, all right, well, the government says this. Okay, well, this person says this, but they also seem like they're a crackpot, or this person or a conspiracy theorist. Um, this person seems like they're sane and they're saying, X, Y, and Z. Um, I would like to think that I am, for this, I'm really not in the middle. And most of the times I try to be in the middle. I encourage you guys to avoid these things as much as you can. If you are wanting like some kind of sweet treat, I understand that. Make it reasonable. Make sure that, you're really going to enjoy it. And moderation, really. Um, sorry, I got a message and it broke my train of thought. So if you want to do a little research on this, read into it. But those are the key points that I'm bringing to the surface for you guys, because that's why you're here. You're here so you don't have to do a lot of research. And I take no benefit from telling you to not eat this shit other than you feeling better. So, where was I going with this? I had something. Damn it. Oh, yes. Okay, so going back to the point. The FDA, our government, has approved these things for you, saying that they're safe. Meanwhile, we have other information that says, no, this shit's really bad for you, okay? So let's just avoid it, you know? You want something sweet? Have some blueberries. Have a sweet potato. Have an apple. Have some bananas. Um, you know, maybe, have ice cream every now and again, and look at that too. Look at that. It should be like milk, sugar, chocolate, that kind of stuff. Okay. Um, and I have a special challenge for you if you're watching this. I want you to go to your cabinet, and even to your refrigerator, and I want you to see if you can find these things in any of your food. All right. And I should have wrote this down earlier. Bear with me. I meant to write it down before I actually came on with you guys. All right. So I knew that I forgot something. I meant to get the damn dry erase board, and I failed to do that, so bear with me as we go along here. And hopefully when I hold this up to the camera, it doesn't get stupid on me, because it probably will. Be like, nah, I'm going to show it to them in reverse, you piece of shit. Yes, what did we said? We said neotame, I think was the other one. I, for the record, have never seen neotame in anything. I'm not saying it's not out there, but I personally have not heard of it. Um, all right, let's see if this works. Let me see. Can we see this? Hell yeah. All right, so we have saccharin, aspartame, sucralose, that one that I hate pronouncing, neotame, and then we can also, as a bonus, look for sugar alcohol. So that's anything that ends in a tall. I can think of one in my mind right now, but I can't remember how to spell it. And I don't want to waste too much time pulling it up. But just look for something with a tall in it. If you can't find any other sweetener in there and they're like, what the fuck's in here? Just check it out. Message me. I'll look at it with you. So that is your challenge for today, everybody. Look at everything that you have. Pick up the boxes, pick up the labels, read the shit, and see what's in there. And bonus, for anyone who comes back and tells me, or in the group chat even, I would love for you to come into the group chat and tell us what you have found. And then what you think you're going to do with it, with this information you've just gotten. This is part of the mission here, to get this shit out of your life. If you don't want to, I can't make you. I'm not going to come to your house and slap it out of your hand. That's not my mission. My mission is to make you autonomous and able to make your own decisions. So let me know, guys. I'm going to share this with y'all. I hope this was helpful. I hope this was a little eye-opening. Please take this time to take in the information and consider it. And then, of course, ask me questions. Ask the group questions, the clan questions. And let's go from there. Let's take this information and slowly make better choices. That's what it's all about. If you have, this much stuff left, you're like, hey, I don't want to put this in my body anymore, but I'm not going to throw this away. I can't do it. Okay, well, fine. Finish what you got and don't buy it again, right? And if you're a parent and some of this shit is in your kid's food, I'm going to say you can do whatever the fuck you want to. But I've had parents tell me over the years, whether it's artificial sweeteners or it's whatever, that it's what your kids eat and it's what they want and everything like that. And it's none of my damn business, but you are the parent. So I empower you with whatever you want to do with that. All right, friends. So here we are. I love you guys. I hope this was helpful. Let's get the conversation started around this because I know it's in a lot of stuff that we consume. I know the question around this will be, well, Beth, what is safe? So if you're having something, as much as I don't want you guys to have high sugar stuff, try to keep it low, 5 grams. Stevia is a plant, so I still personally don't use it, but I would say it is safer for sure. And then I think it's monk's fruit is another one. Is an actual natural thing, not created in the lab. So those two would be the ones other than sugar that I would point you towards. So I will talk to you later, guys. Let me know if you have questions. You got this.